Okay, so for pretty much the longest time, I did not create anything. Okay, I used to tell myself I'm an artist and I need to be focused, but I could not for the life of me actually make stuff. But since I've discovered the concept of flow, my output as an artist has skyrocketed. Now, what is flow? Flow is a special mental state that you enter, right, when you're performing at your best. And that's what is defined by peak performance. And as artists, flow is really essential for us because it's only when we're in a state of flow that we're able to create faster, better, and more effectively. Every single artist, Picasso, Kim Jong-gi, everyone functioning at a really high level operates in this state. But what is it? What is this concept that I'm talking about? Flow state is a state of effortless effort, right? And what does that mean? That means that you're so absorbed in the task, you're so focused on it that everything else just seems to vanish. And time will dilate. Okay, when you're in the state, time is going to dilate. 5 hours might end up feeling like 5 minutes. And you're gonna have this voice. This is critical. You're gonna have this voice in your head that's telling you what the right action to take in that moment really is. And if you follow that voice, you're gonna have success. And if you don't follow that voice, you're probably gonna end up making a mistake. Now, if you're an artist, you've probably experienced this feeling, right? This is when you're really into the piece. It won't happen initially. It'll happen when you're a couple hours into your work session and you're really engrossed in this piece and there are no distractions and nothing else is vying for your attention. That's when you end up entering the state of flow. And it is really in this state that you end up creating your greatest work. Okay, let's dive into the first rule of flow. Find your challenge, skill, balance. What does this mean? Flow occurs only when the challenge slightly exceeds your skill. What does that mean? That means that you want to challenge yourself just enough so that you're in a state of discomfort, but it's not so out of reach that you're just completely incapable of achieving what you set out as the goal. So to really access flow and get good at it, you have to become comfortable at being uncomfortable. You want to stretch, but you don't want to snap. Step number 2 to the playbook of accessing flow is discovering and unlocking your dopamine trigger. Now, why dopamine triggers? Well, dopamine triggers basically signal to your brain that something is important. They drive focus, they drive attention, they drive excitement, and that's what makes them so important. Now, there are a couple of things that trigger dopamine. Novelty produces dopamine, unpredictability produces dopamine, awe produces dopamine, and risk-taking produces dopamine. Now, when it comes to the context of art, the very quick way of triggering this flow state and getting into the habit of entering this flow state on command is to add that spice factor to your art making process, right? You want to innovate your process a little bit wherein you've added some novelty to the artwork that you're making, and you also want to add a feeling of risk taking, right? You want some unpredictability to be part of the equation so that the task requires your attention fully in the now for you to be successful. And that is going to force you into the state of flow. The third step to flow is creating an environment that is designed for focus. That means 3 things. 1, you want to act in accordance to your physiology, which means basically that you want to work at a time that feels the best for you. For me, that's midnight or post midnight, right? I'm a night owl. I like working at night. What's that time for you? Probably work then. Second, you want to create a distraction-free environment. You see, the thing with the flow state of mind is that it's fragile, right? The person who was researching flow actually found out that coders in flow, once they got distracted, it took them at least 15 minutes to enter that state again, if they could enter at all. So you really don't want to risk this state of such great concentration that you have. And you want to protect that by practicing distraction management. The third thing is you can't be doing 2 things at once. So all of you that are watching Netflix and listening to music at the same time as making art, well, that's really not conducive of flow. Because what flow needs is wrapped absorption into one specific task. I know that's quite a sacrifice, but that is one that you're gonna have to make. Okay, that's all I have. That's my 3-step playbook for accessing flow. I hope that helps you out. And if you wanna support a small channel and like a fellow creative, then I would really appreciate if you could give me a follow.